Hey friends, it's Shara here from Woodshop Diaries, and today I'm showing how to make this round serving tray from a single 8-foot 1x8 board in just 4 tools. And one of those tools is just a drill, which you probably already have around the house, so really it's more just like 3 tools. Either way, who doesn't love a simple one board project? And as always, I'm sharing the step-by-step tutorial and links to all of the products used in this project in the blog post and the link in the description below. And if you aren't already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I'd love if you'd hit that like button and then subscribe after this video. Before we get started, I'd like to say a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, the Home Depot. Now, if you're ready to get started, here we go. Since it was a one board project, I used what I had on hand, which was white oak. I had already cut this board down to use on another project, but changed my mind, so I'm using it for this. I mentioned only needing 4 tools for this project, and those are a jigsaw, a router, a sander, and a drill. You'll also need some wood glue and a couple of handles for your finished project. The first thing I did was trim down my board to 6 16-inch long pieces. For this, I used my Ridgid Octane 18-volt cordless jigsaw and Bluetooth batteries. Now, my board pieces put together were actually a little longer than 8 foot, but you only need 8 foot to complete the project. But you'll notice a few of my boards were a little longer than 16 inches because I just didn't want to cut off a couple of inches that I didn't need. Once the boards were cut down, I glued up 3 panels of 2 boards just like shown. This tray is actually made in layers, so each of these glue ups is one layer of the tray. Once the glue was dry, I used a scrap piece of wood and a drill to make a simple circle jig and traced out a circle about 14 inches in diameter onto one of my panels. This will be the bottom of the tray. Basically, to make the jig, I used a small drill bit on the end of the board and then used a drill bit big enough for the pencil to fit through 7 inches out from that center piece. That would give me a 14-inch diameter circle, and I was able to fit my pencil in the hole and draw the circle. Once the circle was drawn, I grabbed my jigsaw and cut it out. I was worried that my new Ridgid Octane jigsaw wouldn't be able to handle cutting this hard oak, but I was pleasantly surprised that it just cut like butter. These Octane batteries are tough and blow my old electric jigsaw out of the water. If you're interested in upgrading or switching to the Ridgid platform, they're currently running a deal I'm sharing with you in the link in the description below, where you can grab the 18-volt Octane Bluetooth battery kit and get a free tool. I sanded the edges of the circle to get them pretty smooth, and then I used my router and a chamfer bit to route a nice chamfer around the edge. I took a little off at a time, lowering the bit after each pass until I got the chamfer as deep as I wanted on this edge. This step is totally optional, but I really liked the flared look at the bottom of the tray. You can make it straight all the way down as well if you wanted, and also, I didn't even think about it until after the fact that the jigsaw has a bevel adjustment, and you could have beveled the angle on the jigsaw and cut your circle out that way if you didn't want to use a router. So technically you can get away with doing this project without the router. There's other ways to accomplish the chamfer, I guess. I gave that a good sanding and then placed it upside down onto another one of my glued up panels and traced around the top. I reached again for my jigsaw and cut out this circle. Once I saw that it fit on top of my bottom piece okay, I proceeded to cut out the last layer to match this one using my jigsaw. The top 2 layers will basically form a ring that will be glued on top of the bottom layer. And then I cleaned out my boots before moving on. Rain boots don't really make the best shop shoes, but I don't think I'll ever learn that lesson. Once both top layers were cut out, I glued them together using wood glue only around the outside of the circles, because we'll cut out the middle, they don't really need to be attached, except for just on the edges. After the glue had dried, I found the center of the circles and used my little circle making jig to draw a circle 2 inch in diameter smaller than the outside diameter of this circle. Basically, we've got a outside ring and the inside ring will be 2 inches smaller than that, and that will allow me to make a 1-inch wide wood ring. I used the drill to drill a pallet hole for my jigsaw blade and cut this out using my jigsaw. Maybe it's because I've always had a cheap electric jigsaw, but I'm just super impressed with how well these Ridgid 18-volt Octane batteries are powering this jigsaw through this thick, hard oak. Now that the ring was cut out, I checked that it fit and then gave it a good sanding. Just like the chamfer was an optional step, this is also an optional step, but I think it adds a little detail that I kind of liked. I just used a rabbiting bit on my router and routed out the inside of this ring. I took a little out at a time and just went as far as I felt like, and then I kind of got tired of making circles and I stopped. I gave it another quick sanding before gluing this top ring to the bottom piece. Once that glue was dry, I gave it one more final sanding. Lots of sanding on this project. I gave it one more final sanding to blend in any uneven lines where the top and the bottom pieces meet. And then I finished it off by buffing it with some Mineral Fusion beeswax and added a couple of handles on the sides. Now, just a note, most handles aren't going to come ready to fit on a rounded surface, so you can try to slightly bend your handles before installing or pick shorter handles so it won't be quite as noticeable. Once it was done, it was ready to bring inside and decorate. I think this would make a great serving platter for snack foods, a tray to corral remotes on the coffee table, or even a place to toss your keys and loose items in an entryway. It's a pretty versatile project, you can use it however you wish. So what do you guys think? Pretty fun for one board and 4 tools, right? Once again, a huge thanks to our video sponsor, the Home Depot, and if you'd like to check out these Ridgid Octane battery kits and all of the tools used in this project, head over to the link in the description below, and if you aren't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest projects and videos. But enough for now. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy building.